Did you know that despite the ingrained American dream of homeownership, the average homeowner in the United States stays in their home for just about 5 to 7 years? This isn't a lifetime commitment. And here's the kicker. During that often brief period, many homeowners incur a staggering array of transaction costs, maintenance, and taxes that can easily eat into, or even negate, any perceived equity gains. It's a fact that directly challenges the belief that buying is always the financially superior choice, and it's a truth very few people openly discuss. Today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most significant financial decisions many of us face, renting or buying a home. Our objective is clear: to unpack the common misconceptions, hidden costs, and overlooked benefits of both options. The mystery: why do so many make suboptimal housing decisions? The revelation: it's not about one being inherently better. It's about understanding the true costs, opportunity costs, and personal implications for your specific situation. We're here to empower you to challenge conventional wisdom and make a decision that genuinely aligns with your long-term financial freedom. Let's start by dissecting the enduring myth of homeownership. For generations, owning your own home has meant stability and success. This powerful narrative often leads people to make one of their largest financial commitments based on emotion, not rigorous analysis. They dream of a backyard and building equity, rather than throwing money away on rent. While these emotional drivers are valid, they can tragically overshadow a brutal financial reality. Costs extend far beyond the monthly mortgage. Your mortgage principal and interest are just the tip of a very expensive iceberg. Beneath the surface lie a myriad of hidden costs that can quickly derail budgets. First, property taxes are substantial annual levies. Then there's homeowners insurance, a mandatory expense. But the real budget buster comes from maintenance and repairs. When you own a home, you're solely responsible for everything that breaks: roofs, HVAC, appliances, the list is endless. Advisors suggest budgeting at least 1% of your home's value annually for maintenance, but it can easily balloon. Don't forget homeowners association fees. And finally, closing costs for both buying and selling. These can easily eat up early equity, turning a perceived great investment into a very expensive place to live. This leads to illiquidity and opportunity cost. When you pour significant savings into a down payment and ongoing home expenses, that money is tied up. It's not easily accessible, and it's not working for you elsewhere. This is the opportunity cost. What else could that money be doing? What if instead of $50,000 down, you invested it in a diversified index fund? Over 5 to 7 years, that investment could grow significantly, often outpacing net returns from homeownership when all hidden costs are factored in. Moreover, homeownership brings a significant lack of flexibility. Life happens, job opportunities arise, family needs change. When you own, these changes come with heavy financial and logistical burdens. Selling a home is complex, time-consuming, and expensive. This lack of mobility can hinder your career or lock you into a lifestyle that no longer serves you. Now let's flip the script and explore the often underestimated power of renting, and what people get wrong by dismissing it as throwing money away. This phrase is one of the most damaging financial cliches. It perpetuates a narrative that fails to account for the numerous benefits and significant financial advantages renting offers, especially when approached strategically. One of the most obvious benefits of renting is flexibility and mobility. If a fantastic job opportunity arises across the country, you can take it without the immense stress of selling a home. If you want to experience living in different neighborhoods, renting allows you to do so with relative ease. This adaptability is invaluable in today's rapidly changing economy. Furthermore, renting offers incredibly predictable costs. Your rent is your rent. No surprise calls about a burst pipe or unexpected bills for repairs. The landlord covers major maintenance, repairs, taxes, and insurance. This predictability allows for much clearer budgeting and reduces financial anxiety. Perhaps the most compelling argument for renting is the investment opportunity it presents. The rent money is dead. Money myth completely ignores the alternative use of funds. If you consistently invest the difference between your renting costs and the total costs of owning in a diversified low-cost index fund over 10, 15, or 20 years, that money can compound exponentially. Many studies show that renting and investing the difference has historically outperformed homeownership when all true costs and typical holding periods are factored in. Liquidity also plays a huge role. Your invested money is far more accessible for emergencies or new ventures than illiquid equity in a house. Finally, renting offers immense freedom from stress. The emotional and mental burden of home maintenance, property value fluctuations, and neighborhood declines is significant. Renters don't have to worry about these things. Now for the controversial opinion, for the vast majority of young adults and perhaps even for many established families, buying a home is often the financially inferior choice, primarily driven by emotional aspiration rather than sound economic reasoning. It's a culturally reinforced trap that funnels wealth into illiquid, often underperforming assets when compared to diversified market investments over typical holding periods. This might sound provocative, even blasphemous. But let's dissect it. The core flaw in the always buy argument is its failure to account for all true costs. Taxes, insurance, maintenance, transaction fees, and HOA fees. These are substantial drains, often ignored in simplistic calculations. When factored in, the effective return on your home, especially over the average 5 to 7 year holding period, often falls short of what a diversified stock market portfolio could achieve. Furthermore, the housing market lacks liquidity. You can't sell a fraction of your house for emergency funds. You have to sell the entire asset, incurring significant costs. This illiquidity is a major disadvantage. The prevailing cultural narrative creates immense pressure to buy, even when financially imprudent. This leads many to overextend themselves, draining emergency funds for a down payment, and sacrificing crucial financial goals like retirement savings. For many, homeownership is an emotional decision wrapped in a perceived financial benefit that often doesn't materialize when all hidden costs are laid bare. Diversified market investments, with their liquidity, lower transaction costs, and historically superior returns, often provide a more efficient path to wealth creation, especially if you diligently invest the money saved by renting. This isn't to say no one should buy a home, but rather that the uncritical adoption of homeownership as the universal financial panacea is a dangerous oversimplification. So, when does buying truly make sense, and when is renting the smarter move? There's really no one-size-fits-all answer here. The math needs to work for you based on your specific life circumstances and financial goals. Buying a home might be better if you plan to stay for 10 years or more. Your income comfortably covers all housing costs, and you have a robust emergency fund in addition to your down payment. It's also a stronger choice if you're in a market with genuine, sustainable growth, and you value customizing your space and putting down roots in a community. Conversely, renting often makes far more financial and lifestyle sense. If you anticipate moving within 5 to 7 years, your employment situation is volatile, or you have limited savings beyond a small emergency fund. Renting can be a better value in expensive markets where housing costs are high relative to income, especially if you value easy mobility and prefer investing in diversified financial markets. And of course, if you don't want the responsibility or time commitment of property upkeep, renting can really be the way to go. The math of renting versus buying is, honestly, highly personal. It involves a complex calculation that's way beyond just comparing a mortgage payment to rent. You really have to factor in all the hidden costs, your time horizon, your future goals, and your personal risk tolerance. The biggest mistake people make is falling prey to societal pressure and emotional attachment, without running the numbers rigorously for their unique circumstances. The ultimate revelation is that the choice between renting and buying isn't about what's right or wrong for everyone, but about understanding the true financial implications for your specific life. It's about recognizing that rent money is dead. Money is a harmful oversimplification, and that homeownership, while emotionally fulfilling, isn't always the guaranteed path to financial prosperity it's often made out to be. This whole process invites us to reflect and challenge our own ingrained assumptions about financial success. Are you truly buying into the American dream, or inadvertently locking yourself into a financially disadvantageous situation? The decision should empower you, not burden you. So take the time to crunch the numbers, understand the opportunity costs, and prioritize your financial freedom over societal expectations. If this deep dive has shifted your perspective, or given you some new tools to think about your housing choices, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more insights into personal finance, challenging conventional wisdom, and empowering you to make smarter decisions for your future.